So you're listening to this because you're like, should I buy a rental property in Des Moines? What does Des Moines have to offer me? Well, Des Moines has a lot, and I'm going to get into that in this video. Eight years ago, I would have said, heck no, don't buy a rental property. But that was just flawed thinking. The economy is good, or is it? The housing market is at the top, or is it? I think you really struggle to see in the next 5 years, but in the next 30 years, I think there's a lot of good data out there. Data point number one, the average medium rent in Des Moines is $1,200. The average house sale is $182,000. Rent in Des Moines has increased 8% over the last 3 years. And my prediction, as someone that is an investor and a realtor, is I think that number is going to double in the next 2 years. Reason being is that landlords can see the opportunity that people are making more money, and landlords were afraid to evict during the pandemic. They are no longer afraid to evict or remove someone because the number of people, the vacancy rate is really, really low in Des Moines. So landlords know they can increase rent and people can afford to pay the increased rents. Renter-occupied homes make up 34% of the Des Moines metro market. That alone tells you there's opportunity to buy rental properties, in my opinion. So if you're looking for your lower end rentals, so look at a map of downtown and you're gonna go straight north and straight northeast and straight east. Those are gonna be your most affordable, low cost rental units for tenants. And then when you're buying those units, you're probably gonna be able to buy them anywhere from $100,000 up to $150,000. And those market rents are gonna be anywhere from $800 up to $1,300, just depending on the size of the bedroom. In most cases, the bedroom size makes the most difference on rent. Now, if you're looking for the property that has higher rents, meaning usually a more credit-worthy tenant, you're going to be looking out west. So take downtown and go to the west, probably 3 miles. You're going to look at West Des Moines. You're going to look north up to Ankeny, and you're going to go way west out to Waukee. Those are kind of probably the top 3 most expensive, higher end neighborhoods for in Des Moines for renters. Your rent to price ratio is going to be a little bit lower. You're going to be able to buy something for $250,000 to $300,000, and it's going to rent for $1,800 to $2,200. And I think if more people looked at the data, they would pick Des Moines over a lot of the other cities. Des Moines, the economy, I would argue, very stable. Didn't crash in the 08 housing market, even though I don't think that we're even close to that point. The reason I don't think that is because of the first-time home buying houses, right? So new construction, first-time home buying, they are not sitting on the market for even one day. When they are finished, they are bought. What that tells me is the market is still trying to catch up with new construction with the buyer demand for properties. And when you have to wait on new construction, so your property's under $300,000, they go up in price because there's more people that want those because they need them. They can't wait for the new construction to happen. Should you buy a rental property in Des Moines? I would argue that it is one of the most conservative, smart asset decisions as long as you have your other finances in place. So if you like that content, in this video, I'm going to talk about the different neighborhoods around Des Moines and why you should invest in them and which ones you should and shouldn't invest in. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the rental property returns. So if either of those are interesting, click on them, watch them, enjoy.